Well done. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Putney Primary, and thank you, Priory Primary, for joining us today for our first day of live events since 2019. Can you believe we haven't done a live book festival since 2019? Who can tell me whose fault that is? Let's get a big boo for COVID. Boo! Absolutely, but guess what? We won and we're back and it's 2022 and we're doing a festival. Na, 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 na. But not only you guys are here in person, we have 7,000 children around the UK watching this as well. And it's going to be a good one. It's going to be an exciting one because today we have Sophy Henn talking to us about PIZAZZ. Now, who thinks being a superhero would be cool? She doesn't. And you're going to find out a little bit about why not now. So you're all going to be fantastic, quiet, except when Sophy doesn't want you to be quiet, and then you're not going to be quiet at all, aren't you? Yes, very good. So I'm going to hand you over to the one, the only, Sophy Henn.
Thank you. Ooh. Oh. Thank you. Well, hello everybody here and hello everybody out there as well. 7,000. Jeepers creepers. Yes, my name is Sophy Henn. It must be because it says so up there in big letters. And hopefully we will be able to see the screen throughout. It might come and go a bit, but do bear with us. And guess what? I've always loved books. Hands up who loves books. Hands up who, double hands up if you double love books. Fantastic, almost all of you. Well, hands down, hopefully we'll win over a couple of doubters in the next hour or so. I love books and I have always loved books. And if you could see this picture, it would prove that I've always loved books. You might be able to just about see it because it's a picture and I'm in it, but I'm not the big person in it. I'm actually the little person in this picture. Aww, aww. This photo's probably about 87 years old. And that's me, and that's my mum, and I'm enjoying story time. And so that's proof that I have always loved books. So imagine how completely thrilled, over the moon and happy I am that for my actual job now, I get to write and illustrate books. I get to write and illustrate them. Hands up, I know you know, but let's double check. Hands up, who can tell me what illustrate means? Yes, you there, yes. Yes, yeah. You said draw stuff, didn't you? That's exactly right. It basically, so I write the stories and I illustrate them. I draw the pictures to go with them, just like I'm sure you all do at home and at school. And these are just some of the books that I have written and illustrated. Oh, and this. Can you sort of see that? Sort of see it? Okay, great. Oh, okay. Well, if you can't imagine it, this is where the magic happens. This is where the magic happens. This is where I do most of my writing and illustrating. And if I'm feeling fancy, I call it my studio. And if I'm feeling a bit more honest, I call it the spare room. And this is where I do most of my writing and illustrating, and it is packed full of all kinds of things, all kinds of tools I use to help me when I'm writing and illustrating. So I've got books that I use for reference, like you use books for reference when you're doing topics at school. I've got pens, pencils, rulers, rubbers, a light box, a drawing board, computer scanner, printer, sellotape. I've got all kinds of things in there that I use when I am writing and illustrating my books. But there is one thing. There is one tool. I could not do my job without this tool. One thing I have to do my job. Now, hands up, who wants to have a guess at what that one thing might be? Yes, you there, yes. Pencil. Well, do you know what? I love pencils. I have literally hundreds of pencils. But sometimes I use a pen and sometimes I draw straight onto my iPad. So while I do use them, if I really had to, if I absolutely had to, I could do my job without them. Yes, at the back. What do you think? Big loud voice. A printer? Well, yes, sometimes I do use my printer, but sometimes I might just draw straight onto the page, so I don't even need to print it out, because I've been a sort of a human printer, I suppose, haven't I? So while I do use one, if I had to, I could get by without it. Now, just behind you, who had their hands up, yes, you, what do you think? An author. Sorry, what was that? An author. An author? Me? Yes, that is me. I do have me. I do have me at all times. But there's a tool I have to use. Now, come on, let's go for it. It's you, isn't it? It's you there. Stand up while we all know it's you. Yes, and what's your idea?
I think, what, if you really need it, I think it might be a rubber.
A rubber. Well done. Sit down. Do you know what? I like to embrace my mistakes. I like to embrace my mistakes because sometimes if the drawing goes a bit in a direction I hadn't imagined it would, I just go with it. But sometimes I do use a rubber. But if I had to, I wouldn't need to because sometimes I draw with a pen and sometimes I draw on my iPad. Now, hands down, I'm going to put you out of your miseries. The one tool, the one thing I have to have when I am writing and illustrating my books is... Oh, there's a murmur. My... imagination. That's the most vital thing. That's the most important tool when I am doing my job. Now, hands up here who's got an imagination. Everybody, even if you don't want one, you've got one. You've got one, and the grown-ups. Yeah, we've all got an imagination. Hands down. Everyone has imagination. They are unique and special to each and every one of you, and they are the most important tool you can have, and it's the most important tool when I'm writing and illustrating my books. And I use my imagination in lots and lots of different ways when I'm writing and illustrating, but one of my favourite ways to use my imagination is when I'm thinking up different characters. Now, I thought up this character. This character popped into my head. Can you see that little panda there? Can you see him? Oh. Do you have a, oh, yeah, come on. Oh, he's cute, isn't he? Look at his little rosy cheeks, his little tummy there. He's lovely, lovely, cute little panda. But I thought, I don't think I want to write a story about a cute and happy little panda. So what I did was I turned that idea upside down and inside out, and I made him absolutely furious. There he is, he's livid. And he became Pom-Pom, and Pom-Pom stomped and shouted his way all the way through. Pom-Pom gets the grumps. And then I thought I'd quite like to write a story about a grandma. Now, not all grandmas look like this, I know that, of course not, but I sort of think of that. When I think of a grandma, classic grandma, that was what I think of. We love grandmas like that. We need grandmas like that. There she is, rosy cheeks, always got a clean hanky, probably smells like Lily of the Valley or something like that. There she is. So lovely, lovely grandmas like that. But did I want to write a story about a grandma like that? No, I did not. You're absolutely right, I did not. So what I thought I'd do is I'd turn the idea upside down and inside out, and I wrote a story about a grandma like that. There she is. She looks like she's up to no good and a little bit mischievous and rather naughty, and she became Bad Nana. She preceded Gangster Granny, just while we're here. She became Bad Nana, and there she is, up to no good. And she likes playing pranks on people. And in her handbag, you'll find a whoopee cushion, a rubber chicken, and some spare knicker elastic. Don't know what that's for. But yeah, so she's up to no good. And also, she gets away with it, doesn't she? Because who's going to tell off a grandma? No one. Well, a brave person might, but not me. So that's what I like to do when I'm creating my characters. So, oh, look, you can't see them because usually that gets a big gasp. When I decided I wanted to create a superhero character, I started looking at all the superheroes that are out and about. You can't move for them these days, can you? They are everywhere. And they're sort of are some of them. We've got them all looking very serious, haven't we? Very serious, very focused, don't they? They all sort of stand like that and they look really serious and focused at what they're doing and all the things they need to do and save. And there's some more of them there. You might be able to see them a little bit better. Still looking very serious, aren't they? Very serious, very focused, quite shiny as well. They're quite shiny as well. And possibly my favourite. Hands up, you can tell me who that is. Yes. Yeah, you. Yes, you. It is Captain Marvel, isn't it? And, you know, she's the one they call, isn't she, when no one else can save the day, Captain Marvel. And there she is, looking great. But did I want to write about a superhero like that? No. So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to turn it upside down and inside out. And I'm going to show you how I created my superhero. So there we go. It started with Captain Marvel. There she's got a power pose, hasn't she? Power pose. Very, very confident. Very, very focused. Very, very serious. Very, very serious. Quite shiny. Lovely hair. She's got lovely hair as well, hasn't she? Lovely hair. So we got Captain Marvel there. So I thought, right, what I do when I create my characters is I like to give people clues. I like to give them clues about the character. in the things they wear and their hair and the way they stand and all that. I'll show you what I mean. So I started with the hair. Hopefully you can sort of see that instead of her lovely flowing locks, what I've got is some spiky red hair like that, some slightly spiky, punky hair like that, because my superhero is going to be a bit of a rebel. She's not even sure she wants to be a superhero. So she's going to challenge things a bit, be a bit of a rebel. So I thought I'd give her some punky hair. Then let's whiz through those. Oh, yes, you can see those. Her socks. Well, everyone's got socks. What's exciting about those? Well, I will tell you. So she's got her socks. But if you notice, she's got one sock pulled up and one sock's fallen down. And that's a really good clue to her personality because she's always trying her best. She's got one sock pulled up. She's not always getting it quite right. One sock's fallen down. So that's another clue about her personality. Then, I gave her some big orange stompy boots because she gets quite cross about being a superhero sometimes. Quite cross indeed. So she needs some big stompy boots to stomp around in and let everybody know just how cross she is about it. There we go. Now, and I gave her a cape as well. Now, most superheroes have capes, don't they? Well, lots of them do. But you might notice that her cape is a bit too big, isn't it? It's a bit big for her, and it's like sort of puddling up all around her feet. And it's because it trips her up sometimes. And that's that's a good way of showing how she feels about being a superhero. That sometimes being a superhero, she gets all in a bit of a muddle with it. It trips her up. It gets in the way. So there's another clue about her personality. And then, I gave her a nice mask. You might not be able to see that. I mean, we can guess where it's going, can't we? Should I just point to that? I gave her a nice mask here like that. And that's a reference to a pop star called David Bowie. A murmur. Yay! From the teachers. Come on. Anyway, he was a bit of a rebel and sang a song called Rebel Rebel. So I thought that was quite nice to put that in there. Then T-shirt and shorts, because there's a lot of running around involved and you've got to be a bit practical. And there we go. That's how I turned Captain Marvel upside down and inside out and created my superhero, my reluctant superhero. She's not sure she even wants to be a superhero, but she's been born into a family of them, and that's just kind of how it works. But I thought, how can I make it even more embarrassing for this superhero that doesn't even want to be a superhero, that sort of just wants to hide away a bit, maybe read a book, maybe eat a pizza. How can I make it more embarrassing? I will call her Pizzazz. So that's what I did. I gave her a nice big show busy name. I called her Pizzazz, and that's how I turned Captain Marvel upside down and inside out and created Pizzazz. Now, names are really important. I'm not sure how this is going to work because it depends on whether the sun's out or not and we can see the screen or not. But names are really, really important when you're naming your characters because you can give them names like Captain Marvel, and that tells us, doesn't it? She is quite simply a Marvel. Or you can give your characters names like Pizzazz, which makes you think they're going to be a big showy-offy person, and actually you get this rather sort of dragging their feet superhero. So you can tell people what your character's like, or you can trick them into thinking there's something different. So we're going to play a quick game of goodie or baddie, okay? Are we ready? Good, okay, goodie or baddie. Now, the thing, hands up for goodie. Hands up who thinks the thing is a goodie. Right, hands down, hands up who thinks the thing is a baddie. It's a goodie! So you think he's a goodie, actually, a baddie, even a goodie. I mean, he doesn't look that good, but apparently I've got it on good authority he is. Okay, Dr. Doom. Hands up for goodie. Hands up for baddie. Yeah, no kidding you, he's definitely a baddie, isn't he? The penguin. Penguins are cute, aren't they? Penguin, hands up for goodie. Hands down, hands up for baddie. Well, I tricked some of you. He's a baddie. Now, Shark Girl. Ooh. Hands up for goodie. Hands down. Hands up for baddie. Oh, that spider's just crawled down my face. There we go. Hands up for baddie. I can't fool many of you. She's, of course, a goodie. And she has a very strong look as well, doesn't she? I think it's on my chin now. Okay, Warlock. Hands up for goodie. Hands up for baddie. Oh, this is always a good one. He's a goodie and he likes fake tan. Scarlet Witch. Ooh. Hands up for goodie. Hands up for baddie. Goodie. Now, Dr. Light. Oh, hands up for Goody. Hands up for Baddie. Yeah, all right, there's a Goody and a Baddie, just to confuse you. Now, last one. Animal, vegetable, mineral man. I'm not going to linger on this one because it is a very strong look, okay? Animal, vegetable, mineral man. Hands up for Goody. Hands up for Baddie. Oh, hang on, I'm so nervous to do it. Baddie, what? Oh, there we go. Well, give yourselves a round of applause for an excellent game of Goody or Baddie. Marvellous. Now, when I was creating Pizzazz, I just wanted to show you this picture because when I'm creating my characters, I never get them right first time. Never, ever, 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 ever. It takes me lots of goes at drawing them before I get to the character that I want to create a story about. But this was the first ever drawing I did of Pizzazz, which is probably the closest I've got to actually ever doing it. But you can see she's still pretty different. She's got no eyeballs for starters. I don't know what I was thinking there. But I was really happy to see that she's still got her one sock up and her one sock down, even in the first drawing I did. And she started life in these comics here. Now, who likes comics? Yes, me too. Double love comics. I think comics are great, and graphic novels, they're a brilliant way. And little comic strips, I think, are a great way to tell short, punchy stories. I love them. So that's where Pizzazz started. Here she is in her first, and this was the first ever one, her first ever comic strip. Now, I made these for my daughter a very long time ago. And there we go. That's how she started. Just as that little comic strip there, she's still rolling her eyes and saying, whatever, though. So her character was pretty close. But I thought that's where Pizzazz would begin and end. I had no idea that she would ever become a book. Oh, but she did. And a book... There's quite a lot more in a book, isn't there, than there is just in one-page comic strip. Quite a lot more. So what I had to do was I had to grow a world around her. Literally build a whole world around Pizzazz. Now, do you use these at school, spider graphs? Yeah, no, sometimes. Well, some of you do, great. And if you don't, then I highly recommend them. So you can see I've got Pizzazz in the middle there, Pizzazz in the middle there. And then literally I've just drawn lines and doing other boxes of family, school, old friends, super enemies and pets. And then I'm just literally building a whole world around her. So these are all the people in Pizzazz's world. And I add to that spider graph with every book I do and the more characters I create. And once I've done that, I get to do the fun bit of designing them. So I get to draw the characters. Now, Mum and Dad are based on the superheroes that I grew up with about 3 million years ago. Special mention to Christopher Reeve's Superman there, with his pants outside his trousers. And then we've got her sister Red. And then we've got Auntie Blaze and Uncle Titano. Gramps and Grandma, I looked at superheroes from the 1950s. Can you even imagine? And what they wore to see how I should dress them. And it turns out they wore a lot of jumpers, which surprised me. Then where do we go? Oh, we've got Wanda, more about her later. We've got her secret baddie friend Kapow, her school friends, Molly, Ivy and Ed, her school not friends, Serena and the Populars. And then, we've got my favourite bit, which is inventing baddies. And I like inventing baddies because I try and make them as silly as I possibly can whilst having some mild peril in there. So we've got Goo Goo there, who's a giant baby. And then we've got, Megavom. Now, after 3, would everybody like to act out what they think Megavom's superpower is? You don't need to do hands up. You can just do it on 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And then we've got Da Bomb with her super scratchy, itchy stink bombs. And then we've got my personal favourite, Twerknado. Now, with Twerknado, obviously, I started with the name and I worked backwards, didn't I? So Twerknado can twerk a tornado because I would if I could, absolutely. So there are some of the baddies from Pizzazz. Now, as she started out as a comic book, I decided I wanted to keep a bit of that in there. So in all the books, there's lots and lots of comic strips. And I was having lots of fun creating those. And that's how I created Pizzazz now. I know, it's getting a bit warm, isn't it? I'm going to read you a little bit of Pizzazz. And then after that, I'm going to show you how to draw her one shape at a time, okay? So here we go. Should we all have a bit of a wriggle? Bit of a wriggle and relax. Oh. Excellent. I started that. I asked for that. Oh, and while we're here, very quickly, happy birthday, Sarah. Happy birthday. She'll say happy birthday to Sarah after 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look! Now, Sarah, stand up because no one knows who you are. There we go. Let's say it again. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Sarah. Well done. Sit down, my lovely. Oh, big shout out. 7,000 people just wished you happy birthday. That's quite nice, isn't it? Okay, right, back to the book, back to the book. Now, chapter 1, the bit about me. Okay, well, I am 9 1/4, almost 9 1/2, and my name is Pizzazz. Yes, you did hear that right. My name is Pizzazz. And yes, it is completely embarrassing. And no, I don't think it's a proper name either. But as with most things around here, it really doesn't seem to matter what I think about it. With a ridiculous name like Pizzazz, I should probably be a magician, a pop star, or a really smelly perfume. But I'm not any of those things. What I actually am is super. Not super as in brilliant or terrific or even very good. I am super, actually super. As in superhero with powers and stuff. Because of this, I have to wear a costume. And part of that costume is a very annoying cape. It gets in the way, flapping around my feet and trading in puddles and getting stuck indoors. But I still have to wear it all the time. Not just when it's cold. And my ridiculous name, which in case you haven't already guessed, I hate, is written right across the back of my cape in huge, shiny letters. Super. And there we have Pizzazz doing one of her trademark eye rolls. Now, after 3, I would like you all to do an eye roll and make the noise that goes with an eye roll, okay? 1, 2, 3. It's amazing. It's like an instinct. Well done. You're all naturals. Okay. I come from a family of superheroes, which is generally how it works. Not always. I mean, there's the occasional freak accident in a scientist's lab or a weird weather insect reclusive millionaire incident that ends up with a perfectly normal person being able to climb up glass buildings or make lightning or jump really, really, really high or suddenly talk in a low, gravelly voice. But mainly you're just born and you can fly, and you'll find yourself in a family of superheroes and you can fly and stuff. Then, if you're like me, you might find yourself wondering why you don't feel quite as delighted about this as the rest of your family does. The most annoying person in my family is definitely my little sister. She's like a superhero crossed with a cheerleader, crossed with someone who is completely good at everything. Oh, and did I mention she's really happy all the time? Well, she is. Also, unlike me, she's actually got a cool superhero name, Red Dragon, which is just another of the many reasons I know my parents prefer her to me. And there we have Red Dragon showing up Pizzazz at nursery, at sports day, and even in the school play. Ugh. I call her Red for short because Red Dragon is quite a mouthful to say if you just want someone to pass the TV remote, get a snack, or even go away. But she's absolutely not allowed to call me Piz. If I'm feeling generous, she can call me Zaz, but she's never really sure when I'm actually feeling generous. And if I'm honest, neither am I. So she tends to just call me Pizzazz. With a name like Red Dragon, obviously her superpower is that she can breathe fire, which is really useful, not just for defeating baddies, but at barbecues too, and for birthday cake candles. She's also got super speed, which is okay, I suppose. They are way cooler than my superpower, which is the least cool of all the superpowers, and in fact so uncool that sometimes I even consider letting the baddies win so I don't actually have to use it. Yes, it's that embarrassing. Anyway, I cannot even talk about it right now. It's all just so unfair. My parents were sort of super famous about 1 million years ago because they've saved the world about 1 trillion times. But these days, they just make me and Red do everything. Neutralize rockets, realign planets, load the dishwasher. It's like we're their personal servants or something. And if you think it's hard having your mum and dad cheering you on from the sidelines at sports day, try to have them cheer you on while you and your irritating little sister divert a planet-sized meteor that's on a direct collision course with Earth. Yeah, no pressure. And unlucky for me, it's not just my immediate family that are completely weird. Oh, no. It's actually my entire family. There we go. And we've got some of the characters I mentioned earlier. And then we've also got Pizazz's Auntie Fury. But we don't talk about her much because she's gone to the dark side. Actually, I've been writing a lot about her in book 5, so she does pop up again. Also, we have a dog. She's not exactly a pet dog, more like a total bossy boots who happens to have 4 legs, a tail, flappy ears, and can't resist running after anything you throw. We call her Wanda because that's her name, and she came to us from Mission Control, who are basically in charge of which super goes where, saves what, and when. So instead of having an actual phone to talk to Mission Control, like normal sensible people, we have a dog who receives and transmits messages and generally keeps an eye on us. Although totally embarrassing and completely weird, it does actually work okay most of the time. Though Wanda is absolutely not allowed to go on any missions anymore. This is because Dad threw one of the bomb's super scratchy itching powder bombs into outer space just before it exploded. But Wanda zoomed off and fetched it right back, just in time for it to explode and make us all itch forever. Well, not quite forever, but at least a month. We also have 2 guinea pigs. Well, I have one and my sister has the other. They are actual pets and don't do anything other than the usual guinea pig stuff. But they're still super, just normal super, like great. My guinea pig is called Bernard. I named it before I knew it was a girl, but I still think it really suited her, and I think she likes it, so I stuck with it. My sister's guinea pig is called Rocket, and is actually just as annoying as she is. They're always dashing about and showing off. Bernard's more laid back like me. We both like to sleep a lot and eat a lot too. And we have the same favourite snack, prawn cocktail crisps. Yes, me too. You can't find them anywhere. Okay, hands up for prawn cocktail. That's a good 50%, hands down. Well, they're great, aren't they? Anyway, most people seem to think that being a superhero must be completely brilliant. They are actually very wrong. You have probably guessed that I am not particularly thrilled with being super, but there are a few good things about it. Just a few. So I will leave you wondering what on Earth, Mars, or even Jupiter those things could be, because now I'm going to show you how to draw pizzazz one shape at a time. So you've all got some paper and a pencil underneath or around the bottom of your chair. So if you want to pick that up now, you might even want to write your name. And I heartily encourage the grown-ups to join in as well if they fancy it. And you write your name maybe on the top of your piece of paper. Yes. It's tricky to draw on. On your knees. Okay, what should we do? Would it be really bad if everyone knelt on the floor and used their chair as a table?
Oh, good, I'm on. Okay, so what we could do is you could do that. So you could kneel next to your chair and use your chair as a table. Or what I sometimes do is I fold it in half.
Yeah, that's a good idea
and
as
then
well.
fold it in, and then you've got a nice sturdy
it's thicker.
piece.
Yeah, so you've
So
got
it's a
2
bit thicker.
pieces. So if you use both pieces and then you fold them in half, that might work. Or you can...
we all want to use our chairs.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Should
That's
I not
fine.
have said
You've,
that?
No, that's good. You've all got
It's
your
interesting.
own...
It looks like the whole room's empty. Where's everyone gone?
Brilliant.
Okay, but you're going to have to keep turning round. So just to give you the heads up. Okay, so guess what's going to happen? Is I'm going to draw the shape on here. The shape is also going to come up on the screen, and then you draw the shape on your piece of paper, and we will keep adding shapes until we've all got to the end of it. Okay, right. Now, the shape we are starting with is the trickiest shape. What? It is. But, once we've got out the way, it's downhill from there. So, look, I'm going to give you 3 options to draw this shape, okay? So don't draw anything just yet. Now, you can draw this. If you look, it's a bit like a teardrop, isn't it, this shape? It's a bit like a teardrop. It's a bit like a teardrop. Look, so what you can do, if that zigzag is proving too tricky, just leave it out. Just leave it out. It's fine. So you can just draw a teardrop like that. Now, if you want to go a step further, you can draw the teardrop, then add the zigzag, and you can just ignore that line or rub it out at a later date. Or, if you're feeling brave, and I feel like I should be because I did draw her quite a lot, you can draw the whole shape all in one go and really hope it works because you're doing it live in front of how many thousands of people? Oh, phew, I've managed it. Okay, just about. So you can draw the whole shape all in one go. So now everybody draw that shape or their version of it. Okay. So do you remember you can do the teardrop? Just do a teardrop if you want to. Do a teardrop and then add a zigzag, or go for it all in one go. There we go. That's big enough, isn't it? Yes. Now, draw it. Look at where I've drawn it as well. So I should have said that. You need some space around it. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, look, while we're here, okay. So, does everybody in here have exactly the same handwriting? And out there, does everybody have exactly the same handwriting? No, but we all write the same numbers and letters, don't we? But we all have our own different style. Well, guess what? It's the same with drawing. We're all going to draw the same shapes in the same order, but each and every one of us will have a unique piece of art at the end of it. So don't worry if yours looks a bit different. That's the good thing about drawing. That's the exciting and fun thing about it. Okay, have we all drawn that shape? Brilliant. Okay, shall I just get a wiggle on? All right then. Okay, now we're going to draw the first quarter of Pizazz's hair. Now to do that, you can see I've come out of the top of that shape, haven't I, the pointy bit, and I've done a big curve, a big boof. It's a technical term. And it goes zigzag, zigzag, and then it stops. Can you see? It stops just before her chin, like that. Okay. So I'm going to come out the top of that shape. Can you see what I'm doing here? Leave a gap, and then I'm going to come all the way out, and then I'm going to zigzag, zigzag, and then I'm going to stop there, like that. There we go. So out, boof, zigzag, zigzag, stop. Now you draw that. There we go. Well done. Out the top. Oops. All the way around, zigzag, zigzag, and stop. Then when you've done that, at the same level here, I'm going to draw just a little upside down V shape like that. Can you see that there? Look. A little upside down V shape. Because what we're doing is we're making the top of her bunches. So you see that little upside down V shape like that. Okay. So we've all got that. Brilliant. Okay, so guess what we're going to do now? Pretty much exactly the same on the other side, just not quite as boofy. Just not quite as boofy, okay? So I'm going to come out round here, out round, and then we're going to do a zigzag, and then I'm going to stop again just before her chin. I've made her hair quite big today, haven't I? It's different every time I draw her. Different every time I draw her. So we come out, zigzag, zigzag, stop. And then we do another upside down V shape like that. So we have made half a hairdo. Half a hairdo. Marvellous. No, do you know what? I won't have that. It absolutely doesn't, okay? So they're all going to look different. So keep going, because quite a lot of the time when I'm drawing, especially when I'm drawing horses or dinosaurs, halfway through I think that doesn't look like it's... I keep going, and I get to the end, and it pretty much does by the end of it. So keep going. We've got to keep going. Okay, now, when you have drawn that, we're going to add the things that hold her bunches in place, and they are called her bobbles. One of my favourite words, top 3. Okay, with bobbles. So all for that, all we do is we just draw 2 circles at the bottom of the hair that we have just drawn, like that, either side. 2 little circles either side. For her bobbles. Bobbles, bobbles, bobbles. Okay. We've done the bobbles. Now we're going to add the bunches. And this is fun. Just don't overthink it. Just go with it. We're going to come out the bottom of the bobbles, and we're just going to go zigzag, 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 like that. There we go. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. And then the same over here. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. Don't overthink it. Just go with it. There we go. Zigzag, 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 and a zigzag. There we go. These are I can see they're all coming along brilliantly. Don't show me yet, because that comes later, but I will want to see all of them. I will want to see all of them. Okay, now we're going to add her neck. This is a very tricky bit, so pay close attention. It's just 2 lines. It's just 2 lines coming out the bottom of her head like that. She's got quite a long neck, hasn't she? There we go, just 2 lines. Now we're going to start drawing her cape. And to do that, what I like to do is I start by drawing a line from one bunch all the way over to the other. So I've got quite interesting bunches today. I've gone quite crazy with the bunches. There we go. All the way over like that. And then I do a line coming out and round for her shoulders, and I just drop it down to the bottom of the page like that. Pew, like that. There we go. Fantastic! Honestly, see, stick with it. They're all going to be ace, and they are all going to be unique and special to each and every one of you. Okay, so have we got the outline of the cape in place? Brilliant. Now we're going to do the details. So I'm going to start with the little strap that holds her cape in place. And to do that, I'm going to draw a back to front C. Well, I can't see much of it because her bunches are in the way. But a bit of a back to front C peeking out there like that. And then I'm going to keep that line going all the way across to about there. So back to front C over here. It's the little strap. Can you see that? It's like the little strap that holds her cape in place. And then I'm just going to do another one of those lines that sort of drops down like that. Just straight down like that. Oh, drawing on the table, sorry. And then I'm going to do another one over here. But I'm not going to leave, see there's quite a big space there. I'm not going to leave much space on this side. So I'm just going to do a thinner one. You with me? You're brilliant, aren't you? And then I'm going to do a cheeky little rectangle peeking out. Cheeky, like that there. Cheeky bit of rectangle peeking out there. And then I'm going to do another line dropping out from that, the bottom of that. Because that's her arm and that's her T-shirt. Now, Pizzazz has her lightning bolt T-shirt, doesn't she? She's got her lightning bolt T-shirt. But I am convinced that you could all create far cooler T-shirts for Pizzazz. So we're going to leave the T-shirt blank. And what I would like is I'd love it if you would all design Pizzazz a T-shirt. And if you want to share those with the festival, and I mean, I would love to see them as well. That would be ace. So we're going to leave the T-shirt blank for you to design and create your own superhero T-shirts. And we are going to get... Oh, no, hang on. We've missed the button. We need... Yeah, you were going to say that, weren't you? So we need to draw the little button in. Draw that little button in. Because if she hasn't got the button, the cape's going to fall off, isn't it? There we go. So draw the little button in there. Now we're going to move on to her face. We're going to draw her face. Now we're going to start with her eyes. Now these are squished circles. They have been squished that way, or ovals if you want to be fancy about it. And I'm just going to draw those in here. One oval, two ovals. There we go. And once we've got our ovals in place, we can colour them in. There we go. There's her ovals. But that's okay because maybe you're starting to create your own characters. If they're starting to look different, go with it. There we go. Now, we're going to draw her nose. Now, noses, oh, so much going on with the nose, isn't there? Pointy bits, holy bits, flappy bits, all kinds of bits going on. How are we going to draw her nose? It's just a dash. It's just a dash. We know it's a nose. We don't need any more information than that. We just a dash. It's fine. And the little dot, well spotted. I wondered if I was going to get away with that. The little dot underneath is her mouth because she's got her slightly surprised mouth on today. Her ooh, 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 like that. So we're going to just draw a little dot, little circle, ooh, ooh, like that. Now, we are moving on to Pizzazz's eyebrows. Now, everyone look this way for a minute because I'm just going to show you, I'm going to show all of you budding illustrators the power of eyebrows. Okay, I'm going to show you the power of eyebrows. Now, we have 4 identical Pizzazzes, okay? So I'm going to show you the power of eyebrows. Now, just by changing the eyebrows, I'm going to change her expressions completely, okay? And you can do this with your characters that you create. Eyebrows are so important when you're drawing your characters and you want to show people how your characters are feeling. So I'm going to start with an angry Pizzazz, okay? So for that, all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 big angry eyebrows. What? Look, she's furious. I've only changed her eyebrows. Now she's sad. She's sad now. She's sad. So I'm going to literally see how her angry eyebrows are doing that. And the more you tilt them, the angrier the person looks, or creature, or whatever looks. So there's a tip. Now, sad, you just literally turn them the other way. So I'm going to just draw 2. Look, she's sad. Sad. Now, surprise. Let's everyone pull the surprise face. 1, 2, 3, surprise. Oh, eyebrows are nearly off the tops of your heads. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to do some surprise eyebrows like that. And then she's not sure. So you can have one like that and one like that. There we go. You can mix them up as well. So that is the power of eyebrows. 4 identical Pizazzes. All I've done is change their eyebrows, but I've given them completely different expressions. But today, Pizzazz has just got her slightly surprised eyebrows on after all that. So we're just going to draw 2 lines, slightly surprised. Little bits of way. Freestyling is always encouraged. Absolutely. So there we go. Now we've got to add her ears. So to draw Pizzazz's ears, we're just going to draw 2 brackets, like the sort of brackets you use in English and maths and science, or 2 curved lines, those as well, either side of her eyes in her hair. And then we're going to draw 2 curves coming out of them like that. And that's how you draw her ears. Then the final touch, the last stage. Have I talked for too long? Probably. There we go. We're going to draw her mask. Now to do that, all you do is you draw that zigzag zig lightly. I'm not pressing too hard now. Zigzag zig across the top of her eyes. And then you do another zigzag zig across the bottom of her eyes. And then, of course you can. And then you use the side of the lead of your pencil, not the pointy bit, because that gives you a nice sharp line, doesn't it? If you use the side of the lead of your pencil, and I hold my pencil differently when I do this, can you see? It gives me a nice, soft, smushy line. So this is really good for shading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade. I'm not going to press very hard, and I'm going to shade in. There we go, her mask. Oh, look, the spider's back. It's on the drawing board now. Yeah. There we go. There we go. And then we've got her mask. So you do that now. And then I want to see your Pizazzes. Absolutely. It's a little tiny, tiny, lovely spider who's been helping me secretly up here. Okay, no, don't hold them up yet. Don't hold them up. Is everyone nearly finished? If you haven't quite, you can finish them later. But maybe what we should do now is we should put our pencils down on the floor and then get our bottoms back on the chairs and hold our pictures. And when I say, hang on, oh, T-shirts you can do later, don't worry. But okay, so don't show me yet, put them down. Because when I count to 3, I like people to make the noise of the thing that we've drawn together. And so on the count of 3, I would like you to all hold up your pictures and eye roll like a reluctant superhero, okay? 1, 2, 3. Look at those Pizazzes, they are all amazing. You have all done so brilliantly, and the teachers have done okay as well. You know, they're all brilliant. They're all amazing. Put them down and give yourselves, your brilliant illustrator selves, a big round of applause. Amazing. Incredible. Now, how long have I got? Not long. About 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Okay. Now, should we just do questions? Let's just do questions. Yeah, let's just do questions. Okay, has anybody got any questions?
Okay, Paul's going to come round with the mic.
Yeah,
and
there we go. Okay.
Who inspired you?
Who inspired me? That's a very good question. Well, lots of artists and illustrators, probably too many to mention, but the person that inspires me the most is actually my daughter. She's probably unconsciously eye-rolling right now as I say this, and she's not sure why. But she inspires me, and it's actually sort of watching her growing up and seeing everything that she's gone through that has given me ideas for lots of my stories. So yes, I think the person that probably inspired me the most is my daughter. What a good question. That's brilliant. Right, next question.
Have you wanted to be anything else before an author?
Well, do you know what? I have done other jobs. I studied fashion at college, and then I ended up accidentally working in advertising by misunderstanding an advert, which is a good start, isn't it, for a job in advertising. And then I did some I did some design, so graphic designing and things like that. You know, when you see like shop fronts and things, and they've got that sort of thing. And then I did greetings cards because I love a bit of stationery. And then I had my daughter, back to her again, and it was reading her Charlie and Lola books. Do you know Charlie and Lola? they're ace, aren't they? And I love the way that Lauren Child, the way she uses her collage, doesn't she? She uses lots of collage in her pictures, cutting and sticking, and the way she's really playful with all her type in her stories, and the way she uses words, I thought was really good fun. So that inspired me to have a go. So I went back to school and did it. I think I've answered your question. I might have gone a bit over.
Let's get one of the ones that we've been asked by one of the schools online,
yes, okay.
which is oh, actually, you've kind of already answered that one. But are any of your characters like you?
Oh, well, I think there's probably a little bit of me when I was younger, and now in sense. Oh, but you know what? The character that I want to be, the character that I'm basically writing because I'm sort of writing my retirement plan, is Bad Nana. And look, my glasses are slowly getting bigger. My hair is slowly getting scraped up into that bun. And, you know, I mean, I love a bit of twinkle too. She loves a bit of twinkle. So, yes, I'm writing Bad Nana for future me. That's what that is. Okay.
Why did you decide to be an author and an illustrator, not anything else?
Well, that's a good question. But it was kind of just really wanting to write stories for my daughter and stuff like that. And I really like telling stories. And I think, you know, I said I did all those different things before when the other person from your school asked that question. All of that, I use all of those things when I'm being an author and an illustrator as well. So I guess what I've always done is use images and words to sort of tell stories, whether that's like this shop sells cake stories or this superhero doesn't want to be a superhero stories. So I guess that's what I've always done. So does that answer that question? Sorry, I think so.
Which book are you going to make next?
So which book am I making next? That's a great question, because I didn't mention Pizzazz 2, 3, and 4, which are there as well. And also, I've just finished, literally just finished, I have just managed to get the ink off my hands, Pizzazz 5. So I've done that, and I've also doing some non-fiction books at the moment called Life Size. And I've just finished Baby Animals. And can you keep a secret, everybody? Okay, well, the one I'm working on, the next one, and that's Life Size Deadly. So that's got lots of sharks and lots of teeth in it, basically. There's a lot of teeth in that book. So there we go.
We have another one online. What was your favourite book growing up?
Oh, that's a really hard question. Well, when I was little, as a bedtime story, it was actually Janet and Alan Allberg's Cops and Robbers. And I found my old copy of it the other day. And Alan Allberg, who is a bit of a legend, I think, lives in the same town that I live in. And I see him like stomping around. He looks quite like a superhero, quite focused and serious. And one day I'm going to pluck up the courage to get him to sign my book. But Cops and Robbers I loved. And I did like Millie, Molly, Mandy as well. But yeah, I know. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? There we go.
When did you start writing a book?
When, well, my first book was, I think I've probably always written stories and things like that, like you guys do. I've always loved writing stories. But my first book was published, should we say that? That was in 2014. So what's that? 8 years ago. 8 years ago, yeah. So, I did have jobs before that. No, that was Werebear.
Yes.
Werebear, yeah. And then Pom Pom came swiftly afterwards. I love drawing bears. I'm not going to keep it a secret. I love drawing bears. It's great. Yes, anymore.
What were your thoughts when you were making your book?
What am I thinking when I'm making my books? All kinds of things. So it depends. If I'm writing, hopefully I'm trying to think about what I'm writing about. So Bad Nana's a good example, because Bad Nana's written through the eyes, in the voice of her granddaughter, Jeannie, who's 7. So when I'm writing that, am I 7? I mean, I might act like it, but I'm not actually 7. I wish I was 7. So what I do is I remember when I was driving my daughter and her friends around, and they were in the back of the car, blip, 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 I'm thinking about that. So I'm thinking about how they were talking, and that helps me write my books. But if I'm drawing, I have to listen to stories, audiobooks. Because if I don't listen to those, I'm just staring at the ceiling and I'm not working. Honestly, I get through a few. So that's what I'm doing when I'm working. Yes.
Is there two phases in the book
of Pizzazz versus the Demons?
There's two. Well, do you know what? There's not just two. So with Pizzazz versus the Demons, what happens is there's CopyCat, who is her nemesis in this, CopyCat. And CopyCat copies everything you say. Copies everything you say just after you've said it, just after you've said it, which is really annoying, isn't it? But not only does she do that, she also tries to zap out Pizzazz's superpower with her CopyCat superpower extractor, but it's a bit faulty. So what she does instead is she sucks out 5 of Pizzazz's demons, the things that trip Pizzazz up when she's going about her day-to-day life. So we've got embarrassed Pizzazz, we've got angry Pizzazz, we've got anxious Pizzazz, all these Pizzazzes that Pizzazz then has to go and defeat. So there's actually 5 of them. There's 5. I really hope I've got that right. There's definitely 5.
When you were younger, were you interested in any sports?
Do you know what? I used to run 200 metres. Yeah, I did. But because I ran 200 metres, I used to have to do another sport as well for the county sports or things like that. And they made me do discus as well. I don't know whether you've noticed. I'm not exactly, I was rubbish at discus. It always went in the net. But I obviously made up for it with the 200 metres. So there we go. I did. I like running. There we go.
Why did you become a story writer?
Well, yeah, just to tell stories. Basically, I love picture books. That's where I started. I never imagined for a single second they would let me write a book this long. I never thought they would. I always thought I'd be working with picture books because I started from this, creating pictures first and then adding words. So I think it's that thing of wanting to create pictures to share with people, to tell stories. And I really love picture books and the way that when they work really well, when you get the right picture with the right words, something quite magic happens and they become a lot more than the sum of their parts. It sort of like kind of jumps out the page at you. So that's why, enjoying that. There we go.
Last one, Paul. Yep.
Last one. It's a bit warm, isn't it? We're going to
How much did you love to draw?
How much do I love to draw? Well, do you know what? It's a good job. It's about a week and a half since I finished drawing Pizzazz. Because if you'd have asked me 2 weeks ago, I might go, just not very much at the moment. Because all I was drawing for like lots and lots and lots of hours in the day was drawing. But no, I do. I love to draw. I really love to draw. I'm very lucky to have my job, and I really enjoy it. And I love the fact that wherever I am, it's like reading, isn't it? It's like wherever you are, if you've got a book, you've got something to do, haven't you? You've got an adventure to have. And if you love to draw, wherever you are, if you've got a piece of paper and a pencil, you can enjoy yourself and imagine something and create something out of nothing. So I do. I love drawing. I love it. There we go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everybody here and everybody watching outside of Bedford. Thank you very much, everybody, because those questions were absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. I'm not being funny. I think you've got a bit of a run for your money here.
I know. Honestly, I worry what I've unleashed. I better watch my back.
There are some incredible Pizzazz superheroes there. I'm really looking forward to seeing the T-shirts that you design.
Come on.
And what I'm going to suggest you do is I'm going to share with your teachers Sophie's social media bits and pieces, and I'm going to share ours. And if there are any of you who would like your teachers to take some pictures and share them with us online, then we'd love to see them. Absolutely love to see them, because the best bit about all of this is seeing how creative you all become. And I bet there were some of you in here today who thought, I can't draw, I'm not very good at drawing. And look what you've done! You've made your own superhero, and you did an amazing job. Amazing. So
Brilliant.
I think for bringing out your inner artist, we should all give Sophie a huge round of applause. And thank you all so much for being an amazing audience. And thank you everybody in the schools across the country for being fantastic. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow morning with Louis Stowell and Loki, A Bad God's Guide to Being Good, wherever that is. And in the afternoon, we have got another comic book illustrator Jamie Smart.
Oh, he's really good.
He's amazing, doing Bunny versus Monkey and Lushkin and
amazing.
Flember. So you'll all have to get your pens and pencils ready for that one as well. But for today, we have reached the end of our first ever live stream event. So thank you all so much for taking part.
Well
See you all
done.
again.